now we'll move to the Indonesia team, which is headed by Esmeralda and also supported and by Salwa and Zoneha Nisa. Their area was economic and business activity and representation of data sciences. So over to Indonesia team.
Thank you very much, Fasi, for the kind introduction. For this presentation, I will hand on to Salwa, who is going to present, and I will just conclude towards the end. Thank you.
Okay, before I start, would the PowerPoint be presented by myself or
You can choose, Salwa. I can help you, or you can do it yourself. Up to you.
I think I will need help, Miss, on
Okay.
the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will share it. Just wait.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bear with me for a while. Okay, I'm opening it. And I will be sharing it with everyone. How to make it bigger?
Yes, now it's visible.
It is visible, right?
Yes, it is.
I just try to make it.
Yes.
I just try to make it slightly bigger for everyone. Okay. You can start, Salwa.
Okay,
And just let me know if I need to scroll to the next page.
Okay, thank you. All right, so hello everyone. I hope everyone here is doing great, and I hope your day has been amazing. And before we start, this is the Indonesia's Girls in Asia Data Training Report. We are from Communication Department, Binus University. Next, please, Miss. Now, let me introduce you to the team and the participants. So the whole session is guided and supervised by Miss Esmeralda. And there's also Nesa as the partner, assistant research. She's from Mass Communications undergraduate. And there is me, myself. My name is Salwa Anindya. I'm from Marketing Communications undergraduate. And for the participants, we are lucky enough to be able to teach 19 of Year 9 students from Suchi School for the co-located session. Okay, now before I continue, I just really wanted to say thank you to all of the researchers, to Miss Esme, and I can also spot several other lecturers from Venus University. One of them was Miss Fifin, but I'm not really sure if she's still in the room. But I wanted to just give a shout out to Miss Fifin because she's the person that recommended me and Nesa to this project, and I would really wanted to say thank you for Ms. Fifin to recommending us and putting us in this position. Also, other teams from India, Singapore, Malaysia, Pakistan, and all other parties involved for the amazing opportunities. The work that you've shown us are very inspiring. It has bring so many new perspectives and prospects, and we are looking forward to do more collaborative projects with all of you in the future. Again, thank you very much. It has been a very valuable experience for us. Okay, let's go to the next slide, Miss. Now, what are our original goals and ideas? What did we do for the activity? So our main focus is to introduce these girls, the Year 9 Suchi students, to the vast opportunities that they have in the future in the field of data science, STEM technology as the woman of next generation. But while designing the activities, we realized that we're going to be talking about data science to Year 9 students, in which most of them are like 13, 14-year-olds. And we realized that it is a topic that can be quite intimidating, even for me as a college student. Sometimes data science can seem to be quite like serious topic. So we decided to talk about data science, but in the most fun and interesting way. So in order the message to actually received by them. So yes, those are the key objectives that we're trying to put out through these activities. Okay, next, please. Now, the next challenge is introducing the beauty of data science through our activities. Next. So, as you can see here in the slide, you can see there's this like timeline. It is a snippet from one of our materials that we give to the students. So for the activities we got the theme economic and business. And we were thinking like, what are the kind of business and the field that are still relatable for year 9 students? So we decided to choose the field of skincare business and the implementation of data science behind it as the main focus for all of our co-located sessions. As you can see from like the picture, so our sessions are divided into, we call it 3 stages. The first stage, they become skincare researcher. The second stage, they became a skincare scientist. And on the last stage, they become skincare influencer. So those are the 3 sessions. And in further details, next, please. So in further details, on the first training, the topic was data gathering and analysis. So it's kind of like the introduction to the whole data science. So we're trying to make it brief and simple as possible. And then after we kind of like explain to them about data science, we head on to the role play activities in which these students were asked to pretend that they are owners of upcoming startup businesses in the areas of skincare. So they kind of just they were asked to consider like what data they need to use. And we kind of also give them like a hands-on like journal that is used as their main source for the session. It is like a beauty index. And from there, they need to elaborate themselves about what skincare products that they wanted to make, and they were going to kind of ideate it as a business idea. So that's on the first training. And then after role playing, they present their ideas and work. Each group presents their ideas and work. And it was really interesting to see that they are actually very bright and confident, and their public speaking are amazing. And it's really interesting to see their ability are getting even better each session. So that's for the first training. Next, please. On the next training, we continue their activity previously. So the key message now is data visualization. And so we asked the students to continue their startup venture by looking into ingredients of different skincare. Now, on the second training, it's quite more technical because we provide them like websites that they can use to produce a skincare and to analyze skincare ingredients. It is available, and so we ask them to use and function that. So yes, the results are also really exciting. All the students are very active and they engage in the session very well. And then to the last training, next please. On the last training, they role play as a skincare influencer. I'm sorry, we haven't changed the pictures. It is from previous sessions, but on this session, the last session, the students discuss about science, communication, and how they can communicate data in simpler ways in social media and other popular media. And then after they role play as an influencer, they create like the content writing and everything. They were asked to make TikTok videos to promote their products by highlighting the key ingredients and their benefits. And it was really fun as well to see the results because they again were able to prove how creative and very smart they are as students, because the results are actually really interesting. So yes, those are for the 3 sessions that we did. And for the next slide, I think it would be best to explained by Miss Esmeralda. So to Miss Esme, the stage is yours. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Salwa. Yeah, so I just would like to give an overview of the kind of challenges and also the factors that I consider as the biggest success of the whole trainings, but with particular elements related particularly to Indonesia. So the first one for us in Indonesia, the issue was with finding schools that will be willing to cooperate with us and then become participants in our trainings. It is because the schools have very rigid schedule that cannot be changed. And so we contacted different schools that we've partnered with, but most of them, especially that period, is considered to be quite like important period in school years where a lot of students will be facing exam. So eventually Suchi agreed, yeah, because they have international curriculum and with the condition that the training supposed to be done on our campus and should be done at the weekend. So that was the compromise that we made. And the second of all is also, I mean, I will discuss this more later on in my next presentation related to the overall challenges. But then because the event sort of like spread it out within 3 or 4 months, maintaining participants' interest it's was quite challenging. Not because they're not interested, because as Salwa said, they were very interested. It's just because there is quite like a period where they were not in contact with us between training 1, training 2 to training 3. So they were a little bit like engaged, but then they were sort of like busy with their own activities and they have to re-engage again and so on and so forth. So if we were about to do it again, especially for the second one, we would plan the timing better and probably having extra activities in between the trainings in order to make sure that they are continuously aware or of where they are in the training or in the series of activities. And the biggest success, the first one, I need to actually commend my undergraduate students, Sawa and Nesha, because of the independence that they show in designing and implementing the project. I mean, we came out, I mean, the first discussion that we had was that, okay, this is about some small, medium enterprises, this is about business, this is the data topic that we're going to approach, but how should we communicate this to secondary school children? So it was actually them that came out with because they knew or they have more, they are more related to this generations rather than myself. So they came out with the idea, how about approaching it from a skincare industry? But the topic was interesting, but I thought like the skills was also transferred really well because the secondary schools children learn about data, learn about like key ingredients, learn about the important business data that they need to pay into considerations in order to open a business. So I think that was the biggest success. So the learning experience, both for the undergraduate students and the secondary school children in trying to see data from a different perspective, I thought that was like the biggest success. And that is related to our main goal, introducing data science and STEM to these kids. Because as Salwa mentioned, both Salwa and Nesha do not come from an engineering background or do not come from an IT background. They are communication students. But then through this, at the very beginning, they're a little bit hesitant whether or not they can actually provide activities for secondary school children, but I think they did it well. And at the end, they sort of like realizing that data science can actually be approached from a different perspective. This is quite similar to what Caroline said at the very beginning, that data science should actually move into that multidisciplinary paradigm. So that's, I think, as the biggest success. And sorry. This one I've already discussed. And then what the questions, whether or not we plan to hold this event again, actually the schools have approached us saying that they like what we did and then they would like to know whether they can integrate that to their curriculum or whether such trainings can be provided to a larger community within the school, not only for female students year 9, but for a lot of people. So that's of course, there are opportunities, but of course, with that, there are steps that we need to consider, which I will discuss later on. So, I think in conclusion, I feel that Jihad has been able to initiate discussions. This is related to some of the questions that I see in the chat box. It might not, I mean, because in order for us to change the bias, to increase more participation among girls in data science is a long process, but GIAT opens discussions about opportunities that are available for female students in particular in this area, and how these opportunities should not be seen only from one perspective. Instead, this opportunity should be seen from a different multidisciplinary perspective. I think that is a key takeaway for that one. And of course, like I said, this is just a one small step. I'm sure, like all of us in the team, there will be a continuations from this in order to step by step going to that direction. This is not going to be a straightforward and one activities and then that you can see the impact immediately in changing the number of students participation, but this is a great first step. So that's the key takeaways from Indonesia. Thank you very much, Fasi, and I'll get this back to you.
Thank you, Esme, and thank you, Team Indonesia. We have some questions in the chat box, and I would like to pose them to Dr. Tariq. Dr. Tariq has answered them in the chat box as well, but I would be very happy if we can share these as well. The questions pertain to one that has asked been by Mahnoor Khalid from Pakistan. She is asking about the myth that has been concocted about that boys are more intellectually capable of going into data sciences and STEM education as compared to girls, whether it is right or wrong, whether it is a myth or it is not a myth. So Dr. Tariq would be more like a myth buster. And the second question is from Samina, and she's asking that what is the role or how data science's job can be created for girls who want to work from home. And third question is from Shaban, and he's asking that what strategies can be applied to inspire girls to take the field or jobs or data sciences as career. So, Tariq, I hope you are.
Yes, so yeah, I got the question actually. So maybe we can also open it for the others. But for my quick answer to some of those questions, for example, about the myths. So usually, our classrooms are normally portray the picture which already existing in outside the classroom or in the society. So our classroom are not very far away from the society. So if there are those sort of biasness in the society in different sectors, that will always reflect in the classrooms also. So for example, if I give you a simple example, one of the course where I'm teaching now, it is about accounting, and in the classroom, 80% of my students are girls. In that classroom. Usually there are multiple factors which Caroline also mentioned about. Safe places is one of the big issue for the girls where they would like to, so they will be looking at it that, okay, once I'm graduated and I have this degree in hand, where I'm going to work. So it's not about even Malaysia or Indonesia or Pakistan. Some places these sort of disparities will be in one shape, in another place will be in another shape. But overall, for example, in Asia, we can continuously find it. Of course, the role of the monetary part of the thing, the expensive part of the thing, the patriarchal society, the safety of the working environment, those are all part of some sort of part of the problems also, or the overall picture also. Other than that is, we also need to look at very clearly actually about the aim of this project. So for us, one of the things that this was a very small project. It was not like a Caroline European Union project. It was a very small 3-4 months project. And our team was from different countries working together. So even to arrange our schedule, those were all the challenges. But the aim was to have this team together, to think about in that direction, and to get some of the common issues, common things on which we can work in the future. So that was one of the part, that this was an initial stage of the team to kickstart or to work together for the next stage. And then the second thing was that for this specific project, we wanted to work or establish somehow relationship with our local schools also, and working through our students also with them. So that institutional network was also important for us to get an entry point to the schools and start working with along with them. And the third one is also to train our own students, was one of the important, that okay, first we have few students in Karak University, Azmi has few students there, Sarbani has, and we have. So we have few students. Can we work with these few students, give them some trainings, and engage them with the local schools? So this was the main project objectives. We didn't really thought about it, that we are looking at that what are the current challenges which bring the result, or in having the result in that different type of disparities. We didn't think about it actually. We didn't think about it that okay, how this data science is gonna impact on the girls' future life. So we didn't think about it. The main was to build the capacity of these 2 students from each country, undergraduate students, so they can find, or they know where to look for the authentic data, how to visualize it, and how to communicate it. So that was the very specific thing of that. If anyone want to add anything, otherwise we are already behind the time, so we need to move to Azmi.